Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to Houseman Field for the first match at Houseman Field for Grand Rapids FC in this 2019 season. My name is Justin Harnan. Alongside of me is Jamie Bogart. We're here tonight for Michigan Amateur Cup Soccer. Livonia City FC making the trip 2 hours west to face off against Grand Rapids FC, which looks like to be a hot contest. Jamie, welcome to the booth. First time up here with us. I was here all last year. New face in you. Anything you're looking forward to seeing with Grand Rapids FC this evening?
I'd like to see all the new faces. There's definitely a bigger contingency of internationally born players this year, as well as a new goalkeeper. How can we replace Noah Forsikis in the net? That will be a calling thing, I think, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think Noah Forsikis, the all-time leader in caps for Grand Rapids FC, replaced by Lansing United, a conference rival goalkeeper in Joe White. Joe White, a massive man out there. So, Noah, if you're listening, it's sorry to see you're not here this year. We know things have to change. Time has to move on. But the hat is so forward, spelling over to Joe White in there. And tonight, 18 players on the roster for Lewis Robinson's Grand Rapids FC. And out of those 18, 10 brand new faces. So it is going to be a lot of new faces out there.
Well, watching all the signings that were coming in, it was pretty obvious that they were trying to get fresh faces, some new legs. And hopefully with all the comments from those players and those signings, that we can get some more fans out here to the field. It's going to be a great product this year. I'm excited to see how things develop.
Yeah, I think in what head coach Lewis Robinson and president Matt Roberts of Grand Rapids FC are trying to do is trying to create this more professional culture. They weren't very happy with what happened on the field last year. The results didn't really speak for themselves. But they're out here now with a newfound face and newfound players, and the expectations are very high for what's going to happen on the field. And just like that, we're underway in the 2019 season. And look for Grand Rapids FC to come out here off the start and get the ball moving a little bit. Jake Vanderlaan at center back. Alongside of him, new player Vladimir Babayev from Saginaw Valley State University. On the ball now. Looks like Franco Calabrese, number 29, Aquinas product just down the road. And at right back at number 3 is going to be Austin Zweig of University of Michigan. Greg Timmer on the ball, comes back after missing the entire 2018 season due to a torn ACL. First competitive game in about 18 months. The two attacking center midfielders ahead of him are going to be George Jeremy, who Greg Timmer says is probably the best guy on the pitch, and if he's not the best guy in the league, something's wrong. Up on the other side of that situation, we're attacking even more, is Jack McCarron, number 15. Two target players up top are going to be TJ Ifadarati and Scott Doney, the newfound captain. On the ball right now, takes over for longtime legend Tony Deacon. Ifadarati into Mendoza. Mendoza finds the ball and just wide of Peter Arton's net. Jamie, right off the bat, less than a minute and 30 seconds in Grand Rapids FC first chance.
You brought up George's name, number 14 here in the middle of the field, who's got over 200 professional caps. And, he got to the ball quickly there and was able to distribute, and the break was on. Unfortunately, we just pushed it just wide. Yeah,
two players in that midfield in George Jeremy and Alex Mendoza have a ton of pedigree between them. George Jeremy, 200-plus caps at the professional level from Norwich City, Bournemouth, and then moving on to Spain. Last as a player coach for Sia Amunakar there. And then Alex Mendoza played last year for the Las Vegas Lights, but has got experience in the Liga MX, which is the best league you can play in Mexico. I mean, these guys are on the field, can flat out play.
Well, we're looking for a better product this year for sure. And the names that you just mentioned are going to lead that way.
And TJ Ifadarati just gets in there with the speed and pace and is able to knock Matt Versteeg off the ball. And it's going to be a free kick opportunity here in the corner. It looks like number 15, Jack McCarron, finished up his collegiate career at Martin Methodist. Looks like George Jeremy's going to go over and join the party a little bit. In here on the targets, there's got to be 6'5" captain Scott Doney. Giant target in there. Not able to do anything with it. Calabrese just hammers that back in. Scott Doney flirting with that offsides line, is able to keep it there. Greg Timmer sits in that traditional number 6 role, that defensive center midfielder. Like we said, there's going to be a 4-4-2 basically for Grand Rapids FC in a diamond midfield. And Timmer's, due to that 18 months off, Lewis Robinson in our pregame talk said he's not really interested for him going box to box wants Greg Timmer to play a little more of a reserve role back there and just sort of sit back just a touch more.
Well, getting back into playing shape for him, too, is going to be, getting into game shape and getting up and down the field, getting that feel back, getting his legs under him. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, this is the first sort of competitive match. I mean, Grand Rapids FC did play a few weeks ago in the first round of the Amateur Cup and beat Ann Arbor FC 4-1. Goals by Mateo, Ifadarati, Polstowait, and Tobin. And Ifadarati is the only one that makes this roster today.
TJ's looks like, just right off the bat, he's going to be a fun player to watch. He looks pretty frisky up top, looking scrappy to get after the ball. Kind of just that little while ago in the 18, it kind of resembled that one goal last year by Morris Kamara where he outdueled and outfought a couple players, and TJ kind of looks like he's going to be that type of player.
Yeah, TJ definitely has a lot of speed, and it's another local product here. And with as many internationals they have, I mean, TJ is a Nigerian citizen, but he did grow up playing soccer just down the road at East Kentwood for basically legendary high school coach John Conlon in the state of Michigan. If you know anything about high school soccer, you've definitely heard John's name and East Kentwood soccer.
John is obviously one of the biggest names here in the Grand Rapids area, and he has bred a lot of players out of East Kentwood as far as the talent pool at the collegiate level, and now we're starting to see it at the professional level as well.
So far in the opening 4.5 minutes of this game, I would say about 80% of the plays gone through GRFC's way. Livonia City just trying to find a touch, still not able to find it. It's going to be a free kick, foul called against the captain, who got named captain on his birthday. So a great situation for Scott Doney coming over here, becoming the all-time goal-scoring leader for GRFC last season, gets out here now, and on his birthday gets named the captain. I mean, what a great honor that is.
That's a pretty good birthday present.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're listening over there and you're friends and fans of Scott Doney, we definitely hope that you gave him some birthday love and some congratulations, because it's a tremendous accolade here, and he's got to take over for Tony Deacon, who is a longtime stalwart, just like Fazekas was.
Well, yeah, we talked about Noah in the goal, and to replace that type of leadership with Tony Deacon is not going to be an easy task, but Doney's definitely up to it.
And Livonia City not able to find the ball. Greg Timmer sits back on it again, looks to swing it out here. Finds George Jeremy. Saeed Towil picks it back off. Goes out to Mitchell Jones. Mitchell Jones tries to play up the field. First time it's been down this far for Livonia City, as Mackenzie Bouchard is going to put it under pressure, but it's going to be out of bounds, and Franco Calabrese is going to take this throw in. Tell you what, you look back there, if you can see it on your screen when we get down to the right there, and you can see Joe White. Joe White is an absolute amount of man right there.
I'm surprised he didn't get drafted into the recent NFL draft.
Yeah, he looks like a middle linebacker, if not an offensive lineman right there. Good size and good frame. Played his last season with Lansing United. And just like TJ did, and on the bench is James DeCosimo, who you might see too. So 3 Lansing United guys making that hour shift over into Grand Rapids FC to get the opportunity to play this with this quality players.
It's kind of interesting, you play against players, and then the next year they're your teammates. Yeah. It's kind of how professional sports go.
Absolutely. The faces change. The sport doesn't. I was talking pregame with Scott Doney as well. Scott didn't play collegiately. He finished up his career in 2000 or a year ago, so he hasn't played competitively since the last summer season with Grand Rapids FC. And he basically just said he's excited to get back out here and just play a little bit and be competitive again. You have that competitive fire and that competitive spirit, and sometimes you don't really get that option. And that's going to be out of bounds. Looks like another corner kick for Grand Rapids FC. McCarron's going to jog over there, and George is going to give it to him. With how they both line up here, Jamie, I wouldn't be surprised to see a short corner kick, and just like we say that, there it is.
That's a great ball in.
And the header from Doney finds the hands of Peter Arden. Arden plays his college ball at Lawrence Tech University. Comfortable there. Really wasn't that much of a powerful header there. It was just a little bit sort of even with Scott. He's not able to dive and throw himself into it.
Looking at the size of Livonia's bench there, showing only 5 subs there. So, the longer this game goes and we keep the pressure up here, it's going to be pretty hard for them to kind of dig themselves out of that back hole.
Yeah, Livonia City lost their last 2 games that we could sort of check with. It looks like they lost 1-0 to Michigan Stars a few days ago, and then lost 1-0 to Spring Arbor University 2 days ago in a friendly. But the rosters could be drastically different And it's going to be a free kick here for Livonia City FC, as it looks like Jake Vanderlaan is going to come in late. And it's going to be a free kick right on the corner of the 18. And Joe White is taking charge. And this is going to be the first test for Joe White in that bright neon yellow goalkeeper uniform for Grand Rapids.
This ball's set up just in the corner of the 18, and Joe White's going to have a pretty good look at it. But he's also facing the sun, which isn't going to help him too well on this one, I don't think.
Yeah, from this angle, I'm not seeing too much of a service here. I'm thinking this is going to be a shot from goal from this range. Can't really see who's over top of it right now. Looks like Timmer with a header. All 5'8" of them. Shot from distance by Mitchell Jones, goes over the crossbar. Joe White looks to see, or seem to have it covered. It's going to let that fly over. But I think that's sort of the first crisis you may see for Grand Rapids FC.
Yep. First game out of the gate, you want to get rid of those kind of jitters here on your home field for the first time, and kind of weather the storm a little bit. And you're going to face some of those until you really get settled in here in about the next 10 or 15 minutes.
Donnie not able to keep that one, but it's going to find the feet of Timmer. Timmer to George Jeremy. Jeremy over the top. Try to look for Donnie. Donnie's left foot. Ball sort of skipped a little bit. Maybe it looked like it might have been an easy save to begin with, but I think the skip and movement made Arton work a little bit more. But just a little touch pass over that back line onto Donnie's left foot. And Donnie's left foot is not something to shy away from.
That was a beautiful ball right there. Just that little chip in, just over the defensive line and the run on.
McCarron, who's going to start in that attacking center mid role of that diamond midfield, seems to be working pretty much in there, but allows George Jeremy to slide up here and almost play like a flank player and pop out a little bit. And I know Lewis wanted those players to get out from the outside back up and attack, but it looks like the width is going to come from Jeremy as he tries to whip that in, but Jones is going to block that. Quick throw and taken into Calabrese, and sort of a hospital ball played in there. It's going to be a free kick here for Grand Rapids FC. Calabrese sort of handicaps Jeremy there and just sort of plays sort of a half-powered pass back to him and gets him stuck.
Yeah, those are going to lead to some painful conflicts, obviously in that one where he gets sent a little bit.
Yeah, good news is if there is something that goes down and he gets a little bit of injury, I mean, the main sponsor on the chest this year of Grand Rapids FC is Spectrum Health. Great training staff here on hand right away. So no matter what, got great medical care.
Definitely. We're not far from the hospitals.
True. McCarron and Jeremy, just like the corners, are going to line up for this. I mean, in-swinger if it's taken by McCarron, and out-swinger if it's taken by Jeremy. Donnie's still the target, popping up just about the penalty spot. McCarron whips that ball into the far post, looking for TJ. Gets flicked out. Body's in the ground. Ooh. High kick, dangerous play. Little flick in. And the touch there from Donnie is going to be just wide. And it looks like Austin Swick in there just gets a flick. That ball stays in and gets restarted right away. You know, in 11 and a half minutes so far of this game, you can sort of see that I think it's been about 75% GRFC as Timmer gives away possession there and throws his hand up in frustration. However, Devin McCulley for Livonia not able to do anything with it. And that's what you want to get out of this game. First real big games at Houseman Field. You know, you take pride in defending the house and doing the right stuff here. But you want to get those first game jitters out.
Definitely, and you can tell that Livonia is starting to shake off their travel legs as well. Coming over from the Detroit side of the state. They're starting to settle in a little bit, and the play is starting to balance out just a little bit. But GRFC is still trying to produce on the offensive side.
Yeah, just sort of sloppy there from McCarron and Timmer again. Timmer gives it away once, McCarron gives it away again. Timmer puts his body in there, gets fouled by number 5, Connor Cole. Played his collegiate ball at Northwood. And fun fact in doing the research for this game, Connor Cole is the leader of Livonia City FCB. Like in that first game, you're just going to find that you're a little bit behind in the pass. You can't really read the speed of your teammates yet, and you're going to have to try to figure those things out. And that's what
mesh, their styles, their skills, and it's going to take a little bit for Lewis maybe to figure out who's going to fit with who the best. So when he selects his roster for those game days.
McCulley trying to get on the end of it there for Livonia City. He's going to run out of bounds. And you say sort of an international experience and players from all over the world. Just looking at the roster tonight, you've got a USA goalkeeper, a goalkeeper from England, and then you've got 2 USA defenders. You got a guy with dual citizenship in Russia and Germany. You have a guy with dual citizenship in USA and Mexico. English center mids, Irish center mids, a Nigerian forward, an English midfielder, a New Zealand forward, USA forward, Belgian. I mean, you got players from all over. And realistically, that's what you're trying to do here is bring in this quality of entertainment and quality of soccer into Grand Rapids for these local people to see and support. And they came out tonight in the first games. The stands keep filling up. Good pregame activities. There's a big line out there from Coppercraft Distilleries and Founders just to support everything going on around this team and this sport.
Well, you know, once the city starts to get more recognition of the players and where they are from, you're going to start to see more fans come to check out somebody from, you know, their own region of the world. We're in Grand Rapids, and although we have a high Dutch population on the west side of Grand Rapids over towards the lakeshore, we also have a lot of diversity. You know, you talk about TJ coming from East Kentwood. They're one of the most diverse high schools around. You talk about Forest Hills Northern, another high school with a lot of diversity. And so once the Grand Rapids area starts to learn these guys, you're going to start seeing a lot more fans show up. We have a pretty decent crowd tonight, but I think it could be better.
Yeah, and success is going to bring that and still rebounding from last year, which is still not a bad year, finishing second in the MPSL Midwest or Great Lakes region.
It's nice because you have a product like this in your own backyard, and soccer is huge here in the Grand Rapids area. You know, so
speaking of huge, Franco Calabrese with a huge clearance there, 50 yards basically diagonal across the field. You know, and you talk about the diversity. I mean, Grand Rapids is the second biggest city in Michigan. We've got the West Michigan Whitecaps, which play in, I think, AAA baseball or single A baseball.
They're single A, lower A.
So. Yeah, and you got the Grand Rapids Drive, who plays in the G League. You got the Grand Rapids Griffins, who play in the lower level hockey. And you got teams around here, and you want to increase the notoriety of this city, and that's really what's going to make it up. And if you haven't been to Grand Rapids in the recent future, there's so many things happening around here, and the downtown area is exploding. That Bridge Street area and the west side of GR is just exploding every day. And it just gives people more reason to come out and enjoy the city and give this place even better than what it is and just live and enjoy this community. Ifadarati on the ball back there. Looks like it was McCarron. Ooh, ball into Ifadarati. He's going to be offsides just by a hair. And Donnie's going to finish it off just in case. And by a hair there, Ifadarati's offsides. You know, you and I are both local high school coaches too. I think the importance of this stuff too is having good quality soccer for our players to see at those younger levels. A couple really good youth clubs around here, a lot of high schools around the area. Anytime they can experience this stuff firsthand and go see quality soccer, I'm definitely going to support and encourage that.
Well, you also know, I mean, you come from a more soccer-oriented community up in Cedar Springs. You know, really getting behind Bryson Ricker a couple years ago. And then obviously with Scott Hazel a few years ago, even more with the Purple Haze games and such like that.
I think even just the game of soccer as well just gives something to people to watch about. I mean, you can see 0-0 games that are some of the most entertaining things out there. And the players really is what brings it out there, is the flair and how hard they work and what they do as a team. As Tony just shields off Jones, plays Ifadarati. Ifadarati's going to be in. Can he get it to his left foot? Just shouldered out of the way by Vince Bruno. Plays collegiately at U of M Dearborn. And then Peter Arden picks that one up pretty good. But you can see that pace of Ifadarati in there, no problem. He's just able, in the work rate back, he's already back, checking back to the ball now. I mean, that's a change that you can see, and bringing that local product in, who's from just down the road basically, is going to be a great pickup for Grand Rapids FC.
Yeah, he's already looking like he's going to be a really exciting player. And I think once he really gets involved and really starts to understand the other players, his goal total is going to start to rise.
Yeah, that goal total needs to start rising right now, as we've had about 18 minutes of play so far in the first half here in the second round of the USASA Amateur Cup in the Region 2. And we're still goalless. I mean, you got to score goals to make it a little bit entertaining, as Jeremy finds the ball. Rolls it over. Gets Calabrese on the overlap. Jones to pressure. Looks like it's going to be off of Jones for a throw-in. No big long throw-in this year. Trent Vector not on the roster. We missed that 6-foot blonde guy who can throw the ball about 70 yards. As Doney's just going to shield that off. Calabresi's trying to whip it back in. It's going to be cleared by Livonia City. As Timmer pings it off with the shins, wins the ball back. A little bit late afters there from number 10, Devin McCulley, who I think he was one of the ones that went in on George Jeremy earlier. And when that system doesn't go the way you want, that frustration may come out. And players that can hold the ball and do smart things with it and bait the opposing team into touches are different. As the referee, a little quick decision by McCarran to play in George Jeremy as they're going to be set. And she moves it back 4 yards when it's 45-plus yards away from goal.
You know, that's an unfortunate situation right there. However, you can already see that George Jeremy is going to be really, really fun to watch. I mean, he's doing a lot of the little things that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet. Just that quick restart there and the idea behind it. And just his little touch passes. I think that's something that we've been missing as well the last couple of years. Yeah,
just to be a little bit of a flair player of somebody in there. And Greg Timmer could do that, but of course, like we said earlier, Greg Timmer missed all of the 2018 season with a torn ACL. So he's coming back at his first competitive games in a while. Jones on the ball again. Nutmegs McCarran. Little scrappy play in there by C to Will. Not able to keep it, though, as it finds Vanderlaan in the back. Vanderlaan plenty of time. Into Mendoza. George Jeremy now, who's basically a member of the back line at that point. All the way back to Joe White. It looks like Livonia City is going to let Grand Rapids FC sort of just keep the ball in their own defensive third. What they call the line of confrontation. Looks like to be pretty deep for Livonia City. Line of confrontation, of course, is when you want to start pressuring the team with the ball. So if Grand Rapids FC has it basically that 40-yard line towards goal of their own field, Livonia City's definitely comfortable in having them do that. A little scrap scrum in there. Everybody falls over, a little bit of afters between Jeremy and Said to Will.
There's another example right there, you know, just that misconnection of players going to need to take some time just to get a...
Yeah, it looks like maybe a change here right away as Calabresi's on the ground. Didn't really see if anything happened, so it might be a little muscle injury or a little bit of a strain. He's sort of tapping his groin muscle a little bit. Might have felt something go. And if you feel it start, you want to get down as fast as possible because you don't want to make that a big, bad injury, especially in the first game. And he looks like he's to be walking a little bit of a limp, but nothing too bad. And it might force Coach Lewis Robinson to make an early change as we're just into the 22nd minute here at Houseman Field. And it looks like that is going to happen. And it looks like he's talking to Liam Bickett. Liam's a English native from England, steps on the field, and looks like it is going to replace Calabresi here right away. So Bickett's going to make his first appearance for Grand Rapids FC. Probably a little bit faster than anybody thought he would. 23 years old. Played the last couple of years for Northwich Victoria in England, and then Salford City over there as well. Talking to him before the game, trying to figure out why he made the run over here. He missed a little bit of the last year or so of soccer. Looks like it had a pretty big break in his upper left arm, a big surgery scar there. He's like, I missed a lot of soccer, I missed a lot of football, and I need to get back into it. So it's a good opportunity for me to come over here in the summertime and get some games that I might not normally get. So interested to see what the England native can do.
Well, you talk about him being from England, and the first thing that I noticed as he stepped on the field, as I see him for the first time, he looks like a younger version of Paul Scholes.
Yeah, it should be a little bit of a hairstyle, sort of clean cut.
A little reddish tint to it.
Yeah, a little bit of the ginger prince. And we all know, if you know a soccer fan, you know how good Paul Scholes was for Manchester United, especially on the full volleys on corner kicks from David Beckham back in the day. Jeremy to Ifadarati. Doney finds himself on the turf. Scott Doney is one of those players just going to post up and hold the ball. Referee's going to play advantage here. McCarran not able to keep it, but is going to find the feet of Timmer. Livonia City just going to sort of sit back with one up top. Vanderlaan on the ball right now. West Michigan native as well. Played collegiately at Oakland University. Definitely comfortable coming up forward in there. Plays the feet of Scott Doney. He's going to try to get it back. Goes through, gets a touch on the ball. Jones tries to smash the ball off of George Jeremy and unable to do so. It's going to be a throw in deep in the offensive third for Grand Rapids FC.
That's definitely a great run by Vanderlaan trying to get in there.
Yeah, you like to see your center backs just have enough composure to do that. And when they get into that offensive mindset, good things sort of happen. To Will trying to clear it there for Livonia City. You know, we're just over the halfway point of this first half. Jamie, anything you're seeing right now that you maybe didn't expect, or maybe something you're sort of excited to see?
Well, I'd just like to see how they continue to gel as the game goes on, as they continue to work towards, obviously league play. I would like to see us switch to the point of attack a little bit more, going right to left across the field. That way we can get them moving laterally, and hopefully that opens up that middle for TJ, for that little ball over the top a little bit.
Yeah, I think looking at it, you can see that when they switch the point of attack, you're finding gaps and spaces in. I mean, with Livonia City basically in a 4-1-4-1, if you can see the picture of the whole field right now, it is clear as day. 4-1-4-1 with Garrett Hintzman sitting in sort of that sort of defensive midfield mindset. So if we can switch the point of attack, it's a header flick through. Ifadarati's going to be onside. It's going to be 1v1 basically between him and Antar. And it's going to be touched off the post. Now McCarron's coming in, is able to be cleared. Doney off the chest. Ifadarati's going to be offsides this time, and it's going to miss wide. Golden opportunity there, and literally we're talking about a game of inches from the first goal at Hausman Field this year.
TJ anticipated that ball extremely well, and the fortunate flick of the header from a Livonia Stevenson defender there led to that breakaway, and Livonia's keeper just closed enough of the gap to push that ball a little bit too wide to where it bounced off the post.
Yeah, just forcing TJ to maybe pull that trigger a half second before he wanted to. And you're talking, like I said, you're looking about 3 inches away from being in the back of the net. A couple people you see out here, you can see that you can start to hear the Grand Army out here starting to making some noise, getting behind their team. They're super excited to be back at Hausman Field. Referee's going to let that one play on as Bickett's going to try to play it up off the chest of Doney now. Grand Army and everybody moved on to the south side of Hausman Field this year. Some people on the north side, but the majority of the people, and I mean vast majority of the people, are on this south side. Grand Army making some noise, scarves swinging, everything like that in the air as well. So you might not be able to see everybody over there in the stands. There is a lot of people still here. One of the people not here, unfortunately, is a longtime GRFC supporter, as this is a great ball by Bickett inside. It's going to be cleared out of the way by Vince Bruno on the recovery run. It's going to be another corner here for GRFC. When I finish my statement, one of the great supporters of GRFC, Eric Albertson, I'm sure he's hopefully listening about this and watching it on YouTube Live over there, taking some travels all around the world. We missed you, Easy. Hope it's great. Hope you're enjoying your break over there. And the boys in blue are definitely doing their best to get a victory for you while you're over enjoying the European context. Here wants that ball in. Smith's going to flick that one out.
Speaking of missing one of our biggest fans, we're also missing probably one of the Godfather tonight as well.
Absolutely.
We are missing Raj Gardner.
Raj Gardner's a legend over here, basically the Godfather of soccer in West Michigan. Passed away just a little bit a while ago after a battle with cancer. Definitely touched the hearts of a lot of people. Big part of GRFC. You'd see him all over. Definitely miss him a tremendous amount. I know that GRFC and President Matt Roberts are wanting to get that out here for him as well. So,
Raj has done so much for the Grand Rapids area as far as youth soccer. He's been a high school coach. He's been even most recently as the women's head coach at Aquinas, and then also helping out with Byron Center's women last year, but also the longtime assistant coach, goalkeeper coach for John Conlon at East Cowan.
Yeah, definitely miss him here. Ifadarati called for a foul on Mitchell Jones. It's going to be a free kick for Livonia City, about 35 yards from their own goal. So looks like Livonia City is going to go to the bench here too, which is sort of an early switch for them. Not an injury-based system. As number 17, Jake Reisloff, is going to come on and replace number 10, Devin McCulley.
Substitution for Livonia City FC. Exiting the match, number 10, Devin McCulley.
Substitutions are going to play a key role in this game as we move along. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Livonia doesn't have a whole lot of subs here. So some guys are going to have to go probably the full 80 minutes. then obviously you mentioned our team bench has about, an extra 7 guys over there. So,
yeah, Livonia City only coming in with about 16 players ready to go. GRFC filling out the roster with a full 18. But both coaches going to the bench early today as Calabrese had to come out. It looks like to be a groin injury. McCulley coming out just under 30 minutes into the game. So definite changes here, but at least 4 subs ready for Livonia City and about 6 more to go for GRFC. And you might see a lot of changes here, especially in the second half. I wouldn't be surprised if head coach Lewis Robinson sort of empties the bench for GRFC. Ifadarati's onside this time off the back of his arm, unfortunately there, under tight pressure from Matt Versteeg. Ball played by George Jeremy over the top. Ifadarati's just not able to keep it. Mendoza claiming. Whoa! Mendoza just takes a tumble over the boards there. Referee's going to have a little chat, and it looks like it'll be our first yellow card of the evening. Our center official is going to walk over there and talk to him, and there goes the yellow card for Mendoza, or for shoving Mendoza over, and frustration and arms are flailing over there. Scott Doney, the captain, to mediate, but that banner over on that far side looks a little worse for wear.
Time to get a new one.
Absolutely. We got a whole bunch of them around here, so we can maybe shift some stuff around as good sponsor logos all the way over around the field, from Chocolate Milk to Signworks to Aquinas College Founders, Spectrum Health, Lake Michigan Credit Union, New Holland Brewing, Graydon's Crossings, Fulton Place, Jimmy John's. I mean, it's the community in the area is starting to really get on board with everything happening here. That's going to be Brady Cole with a yellow card. So one more, and he gets to sit down for the rest of the game, and they get to play down. It's one of those things where you want him to be calm as possible right now.
Talking about the signs around the stadium, we could talk about the stadium as well. Hausman Field is one of the oldest and most iconic stadiums here in the Grand Rapids area, servicing the Grand Rapids Public Schools. I don't know how Matt Roberts did it last year, but he was able to get Grand Rapids Public Schools to allow alcohol here in the stadium. So beer sales and everything, and GRFC does give a little kickback to Grand Rapids Public Schools through the concessions.
Yeah, and if you look over my left, Jamie, you can sort of see a nice little lineup down here at the Coppercraft and Founders Place. So definitely it's one of those things that's helping out.
The party's still going on. It's also Star Wars night, so I see a Darth Maul over there and a few other characters.
Yeah, it looks like during that little break while we're chatting about that stuff, number 1, Jacob Walters coming on the field, and number 8, Mitchell Jones steps off. So right back off, new right back on. So definitely somebody else to attack for Ifadarati and George Jeremy on this far side as Doney tries to get a flick on, not able to do it. McCarron's trying to find it. It's going to be cleared up by Livonia City. Right out to the good little pass in there. Finds that left target in, not able to keep it. There's Timmer splitting the back line. Mendoza trying to keep it. He said Mendoza came over after playing with the Las Vegas Lights. Hard tackle and a foul coming in on that far side.
You can kind of see a little bit of frustration in Livonia right now. GRFC is very, very organized in the back, and it's been almost next to impossible for the Livonia to even break them down. Playing with the one high, it's almost like they're conceding offense and just forcing their way for a tie, hopefully.
Yeah, Greg Timmer on the ground, rolls his socks down, takes his guards off. He's walking over here to the bench, and after his first start really in a competitive game, and what he said about 18 months when I talked to him before the game, it's not definitely a reassuring sign when he takes his guards off and starts walking over.
And he just gave the can't go anymore sign.
Yeah, so that's definitely a change here and a frustration for Timmer, and we hope everything is okay there. It's just hopefully maybe just one of those things where he sort of feels it being a little weird and nothing wrong with it. But we don't want to push anything, especially in this first game here.
You can see the doctor and trainer are waiting right there for him as well. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice, though. One reassuring sign is that he did walk off under his own power.
Yeah, but just that probably a little bit more frustration for Timmer as that ball gets flighted in, looking for Doney. Doney with a header. And Arden's just going to go to his left and collapse dive down and make sort of a simple save. GRFC playing right now down a man
They are.
until they get a sub on for Timmer. Looks like head coach Lewis Robinson's ready in a substitute over here as Timmer's got his guards off getting water on this near touch line. There it is through Bickett. George Jeremy now sitting back a little bit deeper in the play. A little turn in there by Mendoza and away. Looks like it's going to be Sweik on the far side in there. Big touch through, taken out afterwards. Livonia City FC player not exactly happy with what's going on, and a yellow card. And it's going to be a second, so I'm guessing that's Brady Cole over there as the red card comes out. Brady Cole shirt up, so Saeed Tawil going at the center official, and Brady Cole is taking the walk off of the field right now. And it looks like Tawil's going to get a yellow card as well for coming at the official the way he did, and Brady Cole is not a happy player. Coach Gavin King up off his bench trying to calm his players down, and Brady Cole is definitely heated. He's going to go have his own 2 words too of what's going on. The GRFC sub is going to come on. It's going to be James DeCosimo.
Well, that was definitely, if you're sitting on a yellow card, that is a very dangerous tackle to commit there. The leg was elevated, so he obviously was trying to, trip him. So
yeah, I think it was definitely a foul. Oh. Unfortunate that situation, but Sweik sort of baited him into it, took that touch nice and close, took that second touch a little bit longer, and Brady Cole had not much he could do about it. He just poked it in there, and Sweik sort of baited him into it, but it's going to be Livonia City FC playing the remainder of this game, which is about 55 minutes, with at least down 1 by now. And a little half volley shot taken there, just over the top. Fans got a little excited as it hit the back of the net, but a good chance off the half volley for GRFC.
During that card time, it looks like GRFC added their 10th player as well, or 11th player.
DeCosimo, who just signed recently this week, the leading goal scorer for Lansing United again, one of those other players. Donnie's going to keep this one in. Little combination play. There's DeCosimo in there right now. Not able to keep that one in play. It's going to be a goal kick. Might actually be one of the, I think we brought even with goal kicks to corner kicks for GRFC's corners and Livonia City's goal kicks. But that means Livonia City's job becomes a lot harder now. I mean, short bench already made 2 changes. Now you're playing down a man with a red card. Definitely makes it a little interesting situations for head coach Gavin King.
Another part, even for all the amateur listeners out there, obviously Livonia's playing down a man, but he doesn't even get to play in the next game.
Yeah, you got to sit down a little bit.
You're sitting for a little bit. You're just basically training to help your teammates out now.
Go run in there by Liam Bickett. Off the chest of McCarron. McCarron misses his tackle. It's going to be a foul against Livonia City. Looks like Saeed Tawil is probably called for it. His hands and the header in frustration. But Grand Rapids FC starting right away quickly. DeCosimo looks to switch it.
GRFC is starting to swing the ball side to side. That's really going to come into play now that they're down. There's a nice. Now that Livonia's down a man, they're playing only with 3 in the midfield. So swinging it side to side is going to open those gaps even more.
Yeah, and I think now it's about how much can Grand Rapids FC keep the ball moving as much as possible. As long as you move the ball, Livonia City is not going to be able to get stuck into stuff. They're not going to be able to keep possession. They're really going to just wear themselves out by having to chase so much. And I think when you're playing up a man, there's definitely always that other option to find. There's going to be one person with space, but it's up to those center midfielders to try to find it as much as they possibly can.
The other factor here, too, and although it's not June or August or July, both these teams have done a lot of training indoors. There hasn't been a lot of outdoor training because of the weather. And you add in this beautiful 60, close to 70-degree day with the sun beaming in. They're not used to this. So that's going to play a factor, too.
Yeah, I think today, I don't know how many games we are into our high school season, but today's the first game that I've coached that I didn't have to wear like 2 layers of pants and a winter jacket and some gloves. So that's a little bit of a nice, good little opportunity for Livonia City. Joe White had to be quick off his line there to sort of negate that attack. Livonia City still trying to find their feet. Joe White still really hasn't been tested too much down here as Arton has on his end. Peter Arton having to make a couple key saves so far to keep Ifeatarati off the board. Trying to see if Livonia City has sort of changed up that formation. Still looks like a clean back four, almost maybe like a 4-4-1. Just took one of those midfielders out that because it was a 4-1-4-1 to begin with. I'm sort of trying to see how that is, but maybe it's looks like a 4-4-1 with a deep midfield line. DeCosimo is going to find a whole bunch of space in that gap as he's got his hands up trying to find the ball from Babayev. Not able to do so. Saeed Tawil is nice little dancing on the ball there. Is able to keep it in play as Ifeatarati is able to keep it away from him now. Good little bout of spite. Bad pass giveaway by Vanderlaan. Quick counterattack in here, and this is McKenny Bouchard against Joe White. Joe White doesn't make it big, and that's going to be a first shot on goal for Livonia City, and they're going to give up a first one right away. And they're going to take the advantage here in about the 40th minute as the bad giveaway from Jake Vanderlaan across the back, and Mackenzie Bouchard picks it off, takes one touch into space, and just absolutely hammers it over the shoulder of Joe White. You know, Jamie, that's where you look at it. You want your backline to keep possession, but you can't be careless in that situation. I don't know how many times I've told my players to not play square passes because that's usually what happens. You had an option to play back at a negative angle and support, and he plays it across the back line in a square pass, and Bouchard makes him pay.
Yeah, you got the space behind you going back to Joe White. And, yeah, I'm the same way. You know, square balls across the middle are basically like death balls. They're going to get picked off more often than not. And we were just a little too spaced out in the back, and they had a couple guys up there pressing.
Yeah, so. Bouchard just read that right, got defended inside. Looks like Babayev was sort of shading him inside, and definitely makes him pay. But it looks like a little bit of a tactical change as George Jeremy looks like he's going to be a left back now. Only 4 defenders on the team sheet today as we're still waiting for some guys to come in town from Grand Rapids, or for Grand Rapids FC. So George Jeremy is going to be forced to play sort of as a left back, so a makeshift back line.
That's probably going to be a good spot for him just for the fact that he's got the ability to get forward, as we see right now here on this left side.
You know, I'm going to keep it a little bit, but it makes the tactical change a little bit more as Vanderlaan's going to try to redeem himself and serve that ball in. Looking for McCarron. Not able to find him.
Now, one of the big keys is going to be how will GRFC bounce back from this deficit.
Yeah, right before halftime, too, about 5 minutes before halftime. So things change in how you approach that team talk.
Especially when you've controlled 80% of the run of play so far.
Yeah, I would say you're probably right. About 80% there possession's been Grand Rapids FC, but just so you know, I mean, most times we all know this. You look at the scoreboard, and possession doesn't mean anything. You can be 90% possession and still lose by multiple goals. Bickett's going to try to flight this one in, looking for a run from Ifeatarati. Not able to do that. As Arton's going to roll that ball out to Walther on this near side. Doney's going to work hard of it, try to pick it off, and he's going to keep it in there. He's going to fight through that. 2 big guys right there as Doney comes back in. Ball cuts back in. Looks like McCarron's shot is going to be blocked. Babayev out to here to George Jeremy. Left-footed player in Jeremy. Swyke on the ball now. No cover underneath. I'd like to see Swyke sort of go 1v1 in that situation. You had no covering defender. You sort of want him to attack that space, have that confidence to go.
You know, one thing I'm noticing, too, is GRFC is getting after a lot of the second balls. You know, ball gets served in, gets headed out, and GRFC is right there to get it right back. That's going to lead to more possessions, obviously, but it's also going to lead to more chances keeping the ball into that final third.
And not good news for Greg Timmer down there. As I just checked down, he just hopped off the training table with a huge bag of ice on that right knee. And I'm not sure which one it was with the ACL, but I'm going to assume it's probably the right one. Hopefully it's just one of those things where it's a first game going back and he just felt something go a little bit, or maybe it's just some scar tissue popping. So hopefully it's nothing there for Greg Timmer. We definitely wish him the best.
Well, you personally, Justin, you have the instance where you tore yours. So,
yeah, you can. I can speak from experience on this one. That first time back after blowing your knee out, things feel a lot different. Every once in a while, some scar tissue pops loose, and just sort of sometimes it's just a little bit of a panic button. And let's hope that's all that is for Greg Timmer down there.
One of the things with an injury like that, when you do come back, you got to trust the doctors. If they say you're ready, you're ready.
Yep. Reislov sort of stays down on this one. Looks like it's going to be a throw in for Livonia City, as Reislov looks to be hurt a little bit. Sort of on all fours right there as we're ticking in. 1 minute left in regulation in the first half here from Houseman Field in the second round of the Amateur Cup between Grand Rapids FC and Livonia City FC. Alongside Jamie Bogart, I'm Justin Harnden here calling all the action here from Houseman Field on this beautifully sunny day. Nice little breeze coming in, sun starting to set. But what a gorgeous day here in West Michigan.
I'd say we also have about 2,000 to 3,000 of our closest friends as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a good amount of crowd on this near side that you guys can't see over there as the camera shoots to the far sideline. But there's definitely a good amount of people here. Grand Army's filling up about a half a section down there. People all around. Looks like a lot of Founders Solid Gold and all-day IPA being had by our friends. It's a good ball through underneath. Another shot. Joe White with sort of a kick save off of Reislov, who was just down a second ago. You're sort of seeing 2 minutes of added time in here for GRFC to come back into it. As Arden comes out with the head to win it. You know, GRFC, you look at this right now, you know GRFC's playing up a man, and it almost looks like they're playing down a man. It's a good little header in there around Babayev. Missed touch. Babayev recovers really well. Scrappy little play in there. Looks like Patrick Smith, the all-time leading goal scorer. Thumps it out. It's going to be a corner kick for Livonia City. The first corner kick of the game for them.
Sometimes when you play down a man, it forces you to focus a little harder and also work maybe just a little bit harder, and that's what we're kind of looking at right now with Livonia. GRFC is probably recognizing that they are up a man, and they might have their foot off the gas pedal just a tad.
Yeah, and it's just sort of becomes a little bit of a sloppy play because every time you see a situation, it's Grand Rapids FC giving the ball away and Livonia City making the best of it. Ball's whipped in. Joe White over his fingertips, able to come to the rebound though. He sort of got bumped a little bit. Joe White goes to lace it through. What a driven ball to Ifadarati. Ifadarati trying to lace it back against Vince Bruno. Cuts it back in. Not able to find his feet and loses his traction. But you saw a little bit of the speed from TJ Ifadarati. Gonna check back in.
That was just a great release by Joe White as well.
That ball served in by, I think it's Jack McCarron in that far side. Just in front of Scott Downey, the new captain. Yeah, what a ball from Joe White. Just driven ball about 10 feet off the ground, just laced and driven. And there's the halftime whistle. So after 45 minutes of action in the second round of the USASA Amateur Cup here from Houseman Field, Livonia City leads Grand Rapids FC by a score of 1-0. We got a 15-minute halftime. We'll be right back after that, so enjoy some highlights, enjoy some stuff like that. Go up, get your favorite beverage, and sit back on the couch, open the laptop, get by a fire, do what you got to do. But we'll be back to talk to you more in about 15 minutes.
fans, please turn your attention to midfield for the Copper Craft Distillery and the Rich Cider Company Beverage Breakaway. We have Emily in Raspberry's Rich Cider and Rachel in Copper Craft Gin and Tonic. When I say go, these two daring contestants will spin 5 times and attempt to dribble to the goal and score. First one to do so wins. All right, fans, you cheer on your favorite Copper Craft or Rich Cider beverage. Cans, are you ready? On your mark, get set, spin. They spin around 5 times. Cheer them on, fans. We got Emily, the Raspberry Rich Cider, and Rachel in Copper Craft Gin and Tonic. Amber helping out with the spins on the far side. Everybody goes around this circle, and off we go. The Gin and Tonic has itself an early lead. Raspberry Rich Cider, Emily trying to get that ball back. He's making up some good ground, though, as Rachel tries to pull away. Into the penalty area goes Rachel. She's got a clean breakaway. If she misses the ball, can she find it? See it, hit it. Giving Emily all the time in the world. And it goes in. Congratulations to Rachel in Copper Craft Gin and Tonic. As our victor in the Copper Craft Distillery Rich Cider Company Beverage Breakaway. Congratulations. Fans, let's give our beverage breakaway contestants a big round of applause. All right, fans, we have another treat for you here during halftime. It's brought to you by New Holland. It's Das Boot Penalty Kick Challenge. Grand Rapids FC's official mascot, Lucius the Lion, will attempt to stop the shot from our lucky contestant, Adley. If Adley scores, she wins Das Boot. Adley, are you ready? On your mark, get set, go. Adley strikes it into the upper 90. What a finish. Get Lewis Robinson back out here to see that one. She can find herself on the GRC women's team in no time. Congratulations, Ashley. You are a New Holland Das Boot Challenge winner. You scored yourself Das Boot courtesy of New Holland. Prizes coming into the Credit Union, our goal isn't to generate profits for shareholders. It's to improve the lives of our members. That's why LMCU is the #1 nation for returns offered by Callahan Associates. That means we give back more to our members with higher rates when they save and lower rates when they borrow. At LMCU, the emphasis on delivering real value to our members has been job one since day one. With several hits of the Prohibition era Speakeasy Pub, Speakeasy's Sun Toast Classic cocktails, some tasty infusions, and plenty of nice craft beers. With a stellar selection of grilled sandwiches, fresh salads, delicious appetizers, and creative and unique offerings, as well as specialties to suit vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free diets. Or from burgers and Speakeasy Lounge is proud to be the tonight sponsor of GRFC.
And we're back for second half action in the United States Adult Soccer Association's Amateur Cup second round from Houseman Field. Livonia City FC 1, Grand Rapids FC 0. Alongside Jamie Bogart, my name is Justin Harnden. We'll be here for at least 45 more minutes of soccer action. And in that first half, we saw a couple things really happen. Grand Rapids FC, multiple chances early on, not able to do anything with them. Livonia City FC on the heels the whole time, playing a man down as well for 2 yellow cards to Brady Cole. So 2 yellows mean the red in marching orders. But after that, 10-man Livonia City FC comes out on top, is able to finish off one chance, basically with 1 shot, 1 goal from Mackenzie Bouchard. Right away, Ifadarati is going to try to get in. Arton's going to make that save right off the bat. But GRFC playing up a man, 11 against 10, and still not able to make any adjustments or changes. And I'm pretty sure that's a source of frustration for head coach Lewis Robinson, just like I'm sure it would be for you, Jamie.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be important for GRFC to, try and find the back of the net relatively within the first 15 minutes or so here in the second half, because the longer this game goes on, Livonia's just going to sit back a little bit and protect that lead.
Yeah, it looks like no changes here from the second half, as it looks like Joe White still in goal.
Can't miss him.
Yeah, he's a big guy down there in bright yellow. Missed a touch in there. Number 1 for GRFC. Everything else across the field looks pretty much the same. Looks like Vanderlaan and Babayev. Swike. George Jeremy at left back now. Looks like Mendoza sitting back in sort of that defensive center mid role. Sorry, not Mendoza. I apologize. Yeah, Mendoza. DeCosimo up higher. Doney and Ifadarati up there. And then Bickett and McCarron in the midfield as well. Ball over the top. Doney going to run this one down. Under pressure here from Vince Bruno, and Bruno's going to win this one. Plays it back through Arton. GRFC's got to come out strong here. We'd think the first 5 to 10 minutes here and sort of show Livonia City that they need to defend a little bit better and stronger, because I really think after GRFC went down or went up a man, Livonia City kicked it in a little bit more.
And just like we talked about, sometimes when you go down a man, it causes you to focus a little harder, and then you actually push yourself a little more. You find that second or third, sometimes even that fourth gear for a little bit, and that's what led to that first goal. Yeah,
and I think the other thing that led to that first goal is sort of a bad pass across the back line from Jake Vanderlaan. Played a square pass across the back line, picked off by Bouchard, and Bouchard goes in and just rifles that one in. Big ball over the top. Ifadarati and Doney both miss on it. Looks like it's going to be a goal kick there. Ifadarati and Doney No, maybe it wasn't Doney. Maybe it looked like McCarron actually up and in the attack on there, which is weird because you got two guys that are about 5'6" and about 5'8" compared to Doney, who's about 6'5", 6'6".
Looked like there's a little bit of a communication issue there as well. It looked like TJ and McCarron, they both went up for the ball, and TJ was kind of shielding the ball or blinding the ball from McCarron. Looked like he would have been, if he called him off, probably would have had a clean look at getting the ball on frame.
Missed touch in. GRFC is going to pass it. McCarron not able to get his feet moving there as he's pumping the legs as hard as he can. Still some substitute options available for GRFC. Hassan Kankro, Mitch Tobin, Joe Brookhuizen, and then Dara O'Riordan on there to make changes in. Ifadarati gets a poke in. It's going to deflect off of Bruno. It's going to go over for a corner kick. And this one's probably going to be Jeremy. First time we've seen a corner kick, I believe, from this time. Maybe one other time in the first half, but Jeremy, a left-footed player, going to jog over there. Once again, we talked about him in the first half. 200-plus professional appearances all over England, Spain, from CD Almunicar, where he's the player-coach. Most recently in this, with a left-footed in-swinger. And, of course, we know who the target is on this. And Scott Doney, all 6'5", 6'6" of them in there. Jeremy takes it, hits it in there. Ball's flicked out. It's going to find the feet of Bickett. Bickett lets it try to hop, not able to get anything as he hits it on the up bounce rather than the down bounce. And when that ball's bouncing up, there's not much chance that that shot will go on target.
Well, there's another, obviously, example of GRFC winning the second ball with Beckett collecting that clearance, that short clearance at the top of the box.
Fourth official, not too much of a ball boy right there as it rolls right past him. Throw in taken, it's going to find the feet of Bickett. Bickett's going to turn and look it up, and it looks like it's all the way across to Jeremy now in that left back spot. Like we said, only 4 defenders on the roster for GRFC today, and with Franco Calabrese going down, George Jeremy's going to find himself sitting a little bit more defensively. Into the feet of Ifadarati. Ifadarati's not able to keep it, gets shoved over and knocked down. Referee waves that one away. Livonia City defending tight. Not much space for them to play into. Bicycle clearance attempt. Second bicycle clearance attempt. Now finds the feet of McCarron. McCarron into Bickett. Bickett sort of isolated. 1v1 comes in through. Tries to flick it to an overlapping Swike. And Livonia City comes to win it. Not many people back or up in the attack for Livonia City. So you got to look at Patrick Smith just sort of keep the ball, and he does do that. Doney picks off the pass from Arton. Comes into his right foot, not his strong foot for sure. And this time he's going to whip it. Cleared off the shin of Vince Bruno. And it looks like Arton just sort of took his foot off the gas a little bit. I think what you're going to see, though, when you're playing with 10, you talk about, Jamie, that when you're playing down a man, you've got to focus more and do stuff. But you also have to, when you focus like that and do things, you do have to expend a heck of a lot more energy. And when you do that and there's not much going on and you have a short bench already, that could play in Grand Rapids FC's hands to come out there and maybe even squeak 1 or 2 later on.
Well, individually, when you're down a man, you obviously have to cover a little bit more ground. So yeah, you can expend a lot more energy.
Couple little chances there, half chances coming in. Ball's flicked through. Arton punches that first corner in. Ball stays in bounds. Ball switched all the way across. Finds the feet of Jeremy now, who's on this right flank after playing that corner kick in. He just stayed sort of over. Now he's moving himself back on the left on the dribble. DeCosmo with his hand up on this far side with plenty of space as Livonia City has to open up some options. Big ball played in. DeCosmo takes it down off the chest. Plays it negative through Bickett now. Bickett, space to come forward. I can see him drive it a little bit more. Ifadarati sort of comes in there. And good little touch flick in there by McCarron. Into DeCosmo. Finds the feet of Doney. Doney trying to post up into Bickett. Not able to do anything with it. As McCarron tries to bring that one back down and not able to do it as Sahid Zawil is going to be able to clear that one out. Well, Livonia City have 10 players on the field, and 8 of them were just about 18 yards or less from their own goal, defending for their lives.
I think that first ball in that landed at the foot of Scott Doney, it looked like an opportunity that he could have dummied the ball with TJ and McCarron sitting right there behind him.
Yeah, like we talked about, it's just that sort of that first game jitters and figuring out how things work, because you can train all you want, but when you get in that competitive environment, that competitive cauldron starts to really fire up, you're really going to see how each player plays and how each player gels, and it's going to take time for that to happen. Looks like Babayev gets sort of tossed to the ground there. Maybe it was George Jeremy that gets tossed to the ground, and it looks like player from Livonia City sort of have that half attempt, but it's going to be a goal kick here for Joe White. Other goalkeeper on the bench today, Brandon Gomez, Los Angeles, California. Played at El Munacar too with George Jeremy, so I'm sure they know each other pretty well. Definitely different players. Joe White, more of a big blocker, shot stopper sort of style. And Brandon Gomez, I think, a little bit more technical flair player and even a little bit more of a distributor with his feet. Now we're in. Ifadarati comes in. Tries to cut it back in onto his right foot. Ifadarati tries to hit it. Arton goes down to his left with McCarron under tight pressure and is able to hold up that first save and the rebound, no problems. Arton's been pretty good for Livonia City FC so far. He's made every save you want him to.
I was just going to say that outside of that one that went off the post, where he cut the angle up pretty well there in the first half. However, everything else he's been up to the task, if not more.
Swyke flights that one in. It's going to be deflected out. And the corner kick for Grand Rapids FC. On the stat sheet, you'd think Grand Rapids has enough of the possession and enough of the chances to go around, but that scoreboard still says 1 for Livonia City and 0 for Grand Rapids FC as the substitutes start warming up down here on this touchline for Grand Rapids FC. You can sort of see them down there in the bottom part of your screen as Jeremy lines this corner kick up.
One thing that will be interesting to see if Lewis Robinson goes to it later on. Nice swung ball to the back post. Because we've had so many corner kicks in these final third deep throw-ins, if let's say Brookhuizen does come in and pairs up with Doney, you got 2 6'5+ guys up top, that can get to all these aerial balls.
Yeah, I wonder even if you do sit in that situation even more. I mean, you could take one of those players out of that midfield, let Ifadarati sit underneath those two, and you've got 2 gigantic target forwards in there. And we've seen that happen before, because I think remember games last year where both Brookhuizen and Doney played together. There's a big crossfield ball played in there by Bickett into the feet of Sawake. Ifadarati turns from sort of from a full volley just behind him and hammers that one in off the backstop here at Houseman Field. No shortage of chances here as we're just over 10 minutes into this second half. Livonia City FC 1, Grand Rapids FC 0. Second round of the U.S. ASA Cup, the Region 2 games. Remember, Grand Rapids FC won their first game over Ann Arbor FC 4-1. Goals by Mateo, Ifadarati, Postlethwaite, and Tabone. Tabin's still on the sideline, too. He's the one that took the PK in that game, but he's on the sideline now, is able to come in. Brookhuizen. You have 3 forwards that can come into this game, and I think if it stays like this, you're going to see the floodgates have to open, and GRFC's got to do something to get some chances in there.
You almost wonder if head coach Lewis Robinson was thinking this was going to be an offensive back and forth game, or obviously he felt comfortable with the defenders that he selected, only selecting just a handful of defenders and loading it up on the offensive side.
Yeah, talking to him, he's like, one of the biggest things we have is we do have a lot of defenders on the roster, but some of them aren't in town yet as they haven't started league play. League play doesn't start until May 18th, and we're only at May 4th. Big driven shot there from Mendoza. Sails over the goal post or crossbar there and hits the goal post of the football field. So when you don't have players coming in yet, you really have that. You don't have many options in there, and you really need all those things going on. I'm assuming it's going to get better and better for Grand Rapids FC, but you want to keep these games going as much as possible because the more games you can get in, the more you can open up that roster even more.
Player pool is so critical to your overall development as well. Gives you team depth. It gives you competition. Who wants to play in these games? And when you have that depth, you have all those players come in, and if you can find a way to support one another no matter what role you are in.
Looks like it's going to be our first yellow card of the night there And it looks like it's going to be for Vanderlaan, I believe, for a late tackle in the midfield there, almost right at the midfield stripe. As this time, Swyke gave the ball away, mishit a pass when he had an easy option. So Vanderlaan had to go flying in, gets clipped, and it's going to be a yellow card for Vanderlaan. You know, that's what you just got to take care of the ball. I think we say this all the time, no matter what level you coach at, you have to take care of the ball. When you have it in possession, it's essential for you to keep it. And I don't think Grand Rapids FC is doing that well enough right now.
Well, you're also missing, you're missing our captain there in the back, Tony Deacon. Missing him this year, keeping things organized and focused in the back is also going to be, something else that we got to look forward to replacing.
Joe White with the hands right there and a quick restart trying to spring Donny and Ifadarati as Arton is able to pick that one up. But I tell you what, Joe White didn't have much of a windup there, and he just drove that ball about 65 yards on a rope.
It's such a weapon when you got a goalkeeper that can play at 80 yards up the field.
Yeah, and the speed of the restart was great. Unfortunately, it was too direct, and Donny and Ifadarati's not going to do anything with it. Sort of Swyke wins that one. So it plays back out by goal scorer Bouchard.
But that also comes into play too, with that quick restart or punt from White. You're gonna that getting used to each player. I mean, as the season goes along, guys are going to understand that that's what's going to take place, and they'll be able to anticipate that ball.
Babayev fouled right there. There's going to be a free kick in the defensive third here for Grand Rapids FC. And no surprise here that Joe White's going to come up here and take this about 30 yards from his own goal.
I don't know if you remember, Justin, but there will be some Grand Rapids area individuals who will remember this. Spring Lake and Michigan State goalkeeper standout Avery Steinleggy. Joe White has a kind of a thicker build than Avery, but kind of resembles a lot of his game as well.
Yeah, Avery Steinleggy back on the GRFC women's roster this year too. GRFC women made the national tournament last year, won the national championship the year before that. So there's a lot of great soccer going on here. Avery Steinleggy, of course, Spring Lake, all the way into Michigan State, and then finished up her collegiate career at University of Virginia. Definitely a lot of good stuff going on. I'd like to see Joe White do a little bit more of that. You've got options to play. Relax on the ball. You still have 30-plus minutes, just over 30 minutes left to go in this game, and you can relax on it a little bit more. And I think we're trying to force a little bit too much. Move the ball a little bit. Let the ball do the work. Bring the defenders out away, and don't give the ball away. I mean, if we keep the ball a little bit, Livonia City's going to get tired, and eventually those legs just have to go.
Right now we got to do a better job of pulling them out of that final third. I mean, they're just sitting back, and, that was better a little bit ago. But then the knockaway, we got to be able to open it up again.
Yeah, Livonia City just defending with 9 basically behind the ball the whole time, including the goalkeeper with one target forward up there and sort of bunkering it in as much as they can as Arton just dribbles across, waits to Ifadarati to pressure him. A big throw out with Bickett under pressure. Good situation here for GRFC as Livonia City tried to come up in the attack. Able to do it on that far side as George Jeremy way up in the attack. Not able to find him. Livonia City looking to defend pretty much between almost the numbers of the football field. Staying compact, giving GRFC that wide side stuff, and letting them, and trying to force them to come through. Gonna be a throw opportunity here. Swyke whips that ball in. Decent throw there. Donny flicks it onto the back post. Ifadarati's not able to come up to it. Big touch in there, flick, and a big save to the diving right by Peter Arton. Diving to the right, looks like off the shot of McCarron. And going down to his right, which looked like it was going to get tucked into that far side netting. And a quick restart in here. Keep the ball moving across. Austin Swyke on here on the touch. If it's not on, keep the ball moving. Livonia City's going to bunker in. You have to pass to move it out. Keep the ball moving.
If they're going to give those wings, it's going to be interesting if Brookhuizen does come in and play up there with Downey. You just saw Downey win a ball there in the 18 on a ball from the wing. And, if you have 2 big targets, how's Livonia going to have to deal with that?
Yeah, I think it's a big difference when you're dealing with literally 13 feet of people in there when you had Brookhuizen and Downey in there as McCarron shot this time. It's Mendoza's shot from distance this time is saved by Arton. Arton definitely came to play today and has done everything that Livonia City has asked of him. Picked off by Fodorati, gets back in there, taken out, referee looks at it. Donny has nothing to do it. Fodorati's on the ground, she waves it off, and Livonia City's coming back at us, and Donny just tireless work ethic back in there. Like to see Bickett line back up there and come in on the dribble. Like to dribble at that defender, now play Jeremy in. Looks like he's playing Mendoza into Jeremy. Jeremy up to Donny. Arton just comes in there over the top of Donny and grabs it. But you'd like to see that happen with Bickett winning the ball in that middle third, to at least take a couple touches at the center, at the defensive line, and see if they can make a decision. If one of them steps, then they play out Jeremy. If one of them doesn't step, then maybe Bickett lines up one from 25 yards.
And there again, we saw Downey, coming out there to win the ball back, and then he's finding himself right there in the goal mouth once again on the receiving end of a cross from the outside.
I tell you what, for Donny being as big as he is, he's got a great touch on the ball. As Fodorati comes in, this time the player comes in from behind, chops him down sort of again. Referee waves it off. He had an assistant referee there as well. Nothing going on. As Fodorati's starting to get in more and more. I think I'd really like to see that situation happen where you've got Donny and Brookhuizen and Fodorati on there and just go with sort of an all-out attack system in here. Because realistically, Livonia City is going to sit with just one. However, they're trying to get in with this one still. Ball's played back. Joe White takes it off the thigh. Big guy down there with the heck of almost gives the ball away. A little scary situation there. A big guy with a nice little deft touch. Dummy in there by DeCosimo. Over the top. Swick coming in out of the back. This is the outside back coming into attack. Tries to play the ball in. Not able to get it out. And Livonia City clear.
It's one of the few times in this game where we did get it that deep and we did not end up with a corner kick.
Yeah. Recovering defender there from Livonia City does some good stuff as the ball's whipped in across. Finds the feet of Mendoza into Bickett. Bickett all the way across to McCarron. Brings it down. McCarron looks to flip it in. Headed clear it out. Ooh, McCarron picks that pass off from Tawil. And an errant pass there. Jeremy comes in, wins the header. Fodorati's coming back in, brings it down, tries to cut back in. Jeremy not having the legs to do it. And Livonia City FC is just defending their lights out here for the last about 7 minutes. And there's 25 minutes left to go in this game. And I don't see Livonia City being able to defend like this the entire time. Referee sort of ducks out of it. Picked off. As it hits the back of, looks like Bickett. Swike wins that one. Into the feet of McCarron. Missed pass underneath. Good situation, though, as they're able to win that second ball. Fodorati over to Mendoza. This is Jeremy. Big ball whipped in. Donny trying to line this one up. Not able to get it. Swick to the far post. Big header in there, just over the top. And McCarron smashes his hands in there. I think it's McCarron. It might be DeCosimo. I'm not really sure.
I think that's DeCosimo.
Yeah, it is DeCosimo's got a little bit more of that scruffy beard going on. DeCosimo, he said, just came over recently from Lansing United. All-time leading goal scorer for them. Oh, I lied. That looked like Mendoza. Nope, that was DeCosimo. I lied. 20 and 28 look really similar to me.
Yep.
Might need to take that trip to the optometrist here pretty soon.
You are starting to see a little bit of fatigue set in with a couple of the GRFC guys. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if a couple substitutions come here shortly.
Arton comes off, wins this one, this header. Bickett tries to win it again. Donny all the way back, trying to check into it. Ooh. And McCarron with a nice little quick touch and release there, huh?
Yes.
Not exactly a tall stature guy, probably about 5'7", 5'8". But when he released that, absolute cannon on that right leg.
That's a little bit ambitious with the way the Livonia keeper's been playing today,
Yeah.
but still a nice shot to take at this time of the game, just because hopefully that pulls Livonia out a little bit, so that can set us up for a little slip ball later on.
Looks like we're going to see a change here as number 22, Hassan Kankro, is going to come in here for Grand Rapids FC. As Livonia City's coming up high, they got numbers advantage here. Swike's going to be able to win that one. So let's see sort of what head coach Lewis Robinson draws up here, as it does make a change in the formation here, unless he brings out Ifadarati or Donny. Big ball whipped in. Donny's trying to run on it. Arton comes in. Front smothers in front of Donny, no problem. Be interesting to see what happens here. Kankro's a Belgian. Just came out of playing in the Spanish 3rd Division. So international experience as well here. And we'll see what the change is made. It looks like a midfielder out for a forward as McCarron walks over and high-fives him. So we're going to go with a different shape here, and it might be, rather than a 4-4-2, it might be a 4-3-3 situation. Kankro up there. Not exactly a big, tall stature. But neither was McCarron. And then just sort of a change in the system, maybe. As Kankro goes right up to the right flank, puts his hand up right away as Donny tries to turn in, back to Ifadarati. Ifadarati comes in, and Kankro almost scores in his first touch of the game, and he's not able to do it and basically misses a sitter from inside 3 yards. Kankro just definitely gets a great opportunity right off the bat and not able to finish it. But a good little touch play and a good little system in there. And the change in formation might be the best thing, but that's definitely one situation where it should be 1-1 here right now.
Well, you can start to see the tandem of Donny and TJ really start to come together. Obviously on that play with the little quick flick over to TJ who got it through.
Yeah, you got definitely two very different players in there. But what you're seeing now is probably Donny playing in as that target forward, and GRFC switching up to a 4-3-3 or a more traditional 4-3-3 setup, which looks like a back four situation. Bickett and Mendoza sitting almost like a defensive holding mids. DeCosimo underneath them playing as an attacking mid. And then Donny as a target, Ifadarati on the left flank, and Kankro on the right flank. So a change in formation almost. And we'll see what GRFC does with that. Looks like offsides there. That's a free kick, and we're back at it right away. Ball played over the top, looking for Kankro. Kankro's going to be able to bring it down. Not able to bring it down. Correction. Going to get about 8 yards there on the throw-in. Swike's not able to win that, but he is going to get the throw-in. Ifadarati.
One of the pieces that it looks like we might be missing a little bit too is, a fan favorite coming out of that midfield, going forward with speed is, that type of player similar to Noble Sullivan, who could just lightning right through the lines.
Another chance by Kankro, this time over the goal. Yeah, Noble Sullivan, your favorite rabid Wolverine. I almost said Wabbit, I guess, and a little bit of Looney Tunes system going on. But a stalwart, too, and a lot of changes for Grand Rapids FC in this offseason. Noble Sullivan not coming back to play this year, but an explosive midfielder who can come through on the dribble and definitely can change some games. And I'm going to say it's definitely a 4-3-3 situation here by looking at GRFC, even maybe more than that as George Jeremy's going to go up. It looks like Bobby Hev comes down hard there as Kankro's going to find the ball. Kankro's got a little pacey in there and ended up getting clipped by Saeed Tawil. Keep in mind, I believe Saeed Tawil sitting on a yellow card as well. So it very easily could be a bad situation here for Livonia if they go down every more. I remember him getting that yellow card for going over there to question the call, which was the second yellow on Brady Cole, who got sent packing.
Well, he picks up that second yellow and gets sent off.
And then Livonia City's down to 9. And
they're down to 9, and you're not going to – you probably won't see somebody sitting up top anymore.
But I tell you what, we're in the 73rd minute here. Livonia City FC up on Grand Rapids FC by a score of 1-0 off that goal late in the first half on a bad pass by Jake Vanderlaan. Jeremy's going to whip that wall into the far post. Nobody coming in to clear. Tawil's going to have to let that one go. Header flicked on. Doney's trying to find it. And then Livonia City is able to smash that up the field. Looks like it's going to be a throw-in on the middle part of the third for GRFC. Substitute still warming up. Keep in mind there's substitute still on the bench. You got Dara O'Riordan, on there. Tobin on there, and Brookhuizen still able to come on, and Brandon Gomez in goal. Fadarati's onside, brings it back through.
Good patience right now by GRFC.
And Livonia City just sort of staying really disciplined in there as Conqueror's going to find the ball this time, able to keep it in. Jeremy, a little bit of a heavy touch. Technically good player. Plays it into Conqueror this time and not able to keep it. Sort of steps on the ball. Conqueror still trying to find his feet in the opening minutes of his stint on the field. As we tick into the 75th minute. And there's no rush here by Livonia City to take these goal kicks anymore. Swike sort of hacks at it. It's going to spin out of bounds, and Livonia City is just going to let it go and leave it. It's going to start soaking up the clock. I mean, the clock is, you want that clock to tick as fast as possible for your Livonia City and as slow as possible for your Grand Rapids FC right now.
That's why I think it was important that, we found the back of the net in that first, 15, 20 minutes. Then it becomes a whole different ball game. That puts the pressure solely on Livonia.
Conqueror back in here, fans, hands up, cheering. That ball is going to be over the goal post, over the crossbar, though, and it's not going to be a goal. Conqueror, you'd like to see it get a little bit more of a technical touch there, have a little more faith, get in on the ball, maybe take a touch in towards the end line and towards the goal and not sort of rush that. It's hard to get your hips around right there, and realistically, we all know that once you get inside the 18 with the ball at your feet, the defensive play changes immensely. They have to change how they play and do things drastically different. I'd like to see Concro have a little bit more confidence in that situation, because I think those are chances right now where he's had the opportunity and hasn't really done anything with it. Doney sort of boxing up and posting up. Plays Concro, and this time Concro sort of trucked out of the way by number 11, Patrick Smith. Referee looks like she's going to her pocket again. And it's going to be a yellow card for Patrick Smith, who's put in some work ethic there. So 2 players sitting on yellow cards here.
I'll tell you what, Justin. Scott Downey has been a workhorse tonight. He's often been battling 1 and 2 players at a time, and he has fought them all off. Livonia just doesn't. It's almost like they don't know how to deal with his size.
Yeah, and all-time goal leaders for GRFC with 14 goals all time. You would like to see him add to one, add that to a 15 right now. 76th, 77th minute right now. So 13 or so minutes left in regulation. 14 minutes or so. You want this to come up as much as possible. Jeremy sort of flights that ball with an in-swinger. Not able to do anything with it. Mendoza's shot just gets smashed back and didn't have nothing to do with it. Saeed Tawil up to the target. One person up for Livonia City, and he finds the ball no problem. Not able to keep it, though, as Jeremy comes back and recovers and looks to restart right away. Over to Concro, not able to do it. Looking for Concro as Brandon Gomez gets a touch on the touchline. It's going to be a substitution here as number 16, Dara O'Riordan, is going to come into the game for Austin Swike. So definitely a tactical change here as Swike is an outside back. O'Riordan naturally a midfielder. Concro into O'Riordan. Remember O'Riordan having a couple cracking goals, actually one cracking goal last year where he sort of just came through and absolutely hammered the ball from about 25 yards out. So he's going to come back in. So that back line looks like Vanderlaan and Babayev. O'Riordan maybe. Right now it looks like George Jeremy sitting as a traditional number 6, defensive center midfielder. Not really sure what's going on here right now for Grand Rapids FC. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, moving George there, I like it, but I also don't like it because I think we need about 3 or 4 of them out there to serve the balls in.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous left foot on him. We haven't seen a whole bunch of that right. As DeCosimo comes in. Bickett now switching the point of attack. Ifadarati's trying to track out wider, able to do so. This is Tony trying to post up and hold. Calm play by Grand Rapids FC. Not much going on, though. And Tawil is just going to smash it up towards the field. Up to Mackenzie Bouchard, who is the goal scorer. And Concro just has to play that out of bounds. And Livonia City in no rush here. 79th minute. Still Livonia City up 1-0. Doney brings that on of his chest, throws his body in there. A lot of good touches there by DeCosimo. Concro gets out of the way, plays it back in, finds the feet of Doney. Doney tries to turn and gets taken out. Referee says nothing. I thought Doney had position on that one. Maybe it was Doney trying to get that free kick baited in there. Big long ball played up the top. Bouchard not even going to pressure it. Not going to waste his energy. Usually in this situation, you'd see somebody rotating with Bouchard to let somebody else sit up there and get a break. And it's been Bouchard just chilling the whole time up there as that target sort of lone attacker.
It's kind of just a man on an island by himself right now.
Yeah.
He's just basically there just to kill time once he does get it.
Concro drives in, hits a ball. O'Riordan steps in late. Ball's hopefully overhit a little bit. Well done by Vanderlaan. Off the foot of Connor Cole. Played a collegiately at Northwood as well. Well done play there by Concro. And Concro has definitely had experience on there. You just like to see him take a little bit more of the opportunities in there. Ifadarati on sides. No cover underneath. Want to see him come in with pace. Does bring it to his right foot. This time hits it, and Arton just goes down and smothers it to his left. And in about 10 seconds, we're going to roll into the last 10 minutes of regulation. And from the booth to my left, if it stays like this, we know Livonia City is going to score. If it ends in a draw, we will have 2 15-minute overtimes. And if there's still a draw after that, we'll have penalty kicks. Referee lets both those things go on. Nothing much happening here. Livonia City FC playing really well in that back line, staying super compact and composed as Concro gets in this time. This time takes a positive touch, not able to find anything through it. Like I said, Jamie, I want to see him get to the end line. It looks like he's got the pace to do it. He just sort of holds up the situation every time and just seems indecisive.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you have the space still. I mean, you're trying to cross the ball from, 12 yards out, and maybe just a little push pass towards the end line and then cut it back against the grain. That might lead to a better scoring chance. I do like, moving TJ out wide, with how compact Livonia is in the back, how clustered it is in there. His speed's not going to be too visible,
And you think putting him out wide a little bit, allows him to, on that side, allows him to come back into his right foot, which seems to be his dominant foot. But something's got to happen here for Grand Rapids FC. His time is just ticking away. And realistically, I don't think Joe White has had anything to do in this second half. And GRFC is just not finding feet or situations or anything like that. And granted, I said it, it's a whole bunch of new faces, haven't seen each other a bunch, only have had a few training sessions. But realistically, you'd expect some stuff to happen here. Looks like Livonia City FC's substitution is number 6. Patrick Gates is going to come in. And I'm not sure who he's going to replace. It looks like... Is that the other Cole? Is that number 5, Connor Cole, walking off the field?
Substitution for Livonia City FC. Entering the net, number 6, Patrick Gates.
Still looking for confirmation on the substitution change.
Number 11, Patrick Smith.
Nope, he's going to replace number 11, Patrick Smith, one of the players that was sitting on a yellow card. Jeremy picks that up quick. So looks to pick it right away. Look, I like the speed of the restart there because it's got to be fast here as time keeps ticking. Now Concro with some space. Get in there. Get in there, lad. Come in. There's a little hesitation move. And the ball's just hit underneath. He just takes that touch still a little bit too wide and not able to wrap his hips around it. But at least at that point, he tried to take a hesitation and try to get stuck in.
Getting a little deeper is going to be key for him. Just needs to do a little better technically with the ball in his service.
Yeah, I think that the touch has always been has been somewhat decent. Had a couple missed duns in the first time, but those services on the side are just gone for the wayside. As Bouchard comes back in, Babayev shields it out of play. Restarts it fairly quickly over to Vanderlaan. Mendoza over to, I think that's Liam Bickett on the far side. His night has definitely fallen. Not a bad view at Houseman Field here. You can see the skyline just to the north of us and the west of us. Actually, absolutely beautiful sunset going on. As Arden finds the ball in his hands. 84th minute. Looks like GRFC might have played their last hand as there's nobody warming up. Nothing looks like it's going to happen. Just sort of staying in there. Vanderlaan loses the ball this time, and Bickett's on the recovery road. Quick service underneath or across. The competitive nature of these guys starting to flare up as Babayev gives an earful to the new sub, Patrick Gates, as Gates tried to waste as much time as possible. Good ball played in. Jeremy's getting a little bit more of a free rein there. Concro in on space. Good recovery run in here. See if Concro can do anything with it this time as he's pushing him to his left. Concro not able to have anything to do with it. Now he keeps it into Jeremy. Skip pass in, all the way across the other side. Into the feet, it looks Mendoza. Ifadarati onside. Ball played in. Sort of cleared attempt. This might be a big collision coming in. Not something going to happen. Into Concro. Concro with space. He keeps finding the space as much as possible. This is a decent ball. Sort of the back post. Ifadar is going to find it. Ball hit with his left foot. Actually, correction, was hit, but it is deflected. It looks like it's going to be a corner kick. Referee pointing to the corner. Now everything's changing. It is a goal kick.
Center ref obviously overruled the AR there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought she was in good space to make it. 5 minutes, under 5 minutes right now in regulation. You're hoping for a good amount of stoppage time here if you're Grand Rapids FC, as it looks like Brookhuizen's throwing on the number 77, so you might see the Twin Towers up there. Two big guys up top. And a free kick called against.
Yeah, looks like Brookhuizen's ready to come in.
There's sort of a quick change in here. And at this point, you're sort of rolling all the dice here for Grand Rapids FC. You're down 1-0 inside 5 minutes of regulation. Definitely didn't expect this to happen. And we'll see who this change is going to be for right now. And it's going to be Ifadarati coming off the field. So you're going to have Doney and Brookhuizen, 6'5" and 6'6".
During that substitution, I was just watching kind of GRFC in the back line there, and you could see George Jeremy just kind of really direct the players. You can see that his experience is really going to be key this year.
Big ball flighted in there. Looking for Bouchard. Bouchard's able to keep it. Turn, and it's going to be wide. I think Joe White definitely had that one covered. Joe White looking to restart quick. Plays into the feet of O'Riordan. Nice little double pass there between Jeremy and O'Riordan. I love the double pass. You see it a lot from the likes of FC Barcelona. Brookhuizen's going to flirt on that backside. He's going to be called offsides. Brookhuizen, a left-footed dominant player. 3 minutes or so left in regulation. Livonia City FC leading Grand Rapids FC still 1-0.
As a coach, that's kind of frustrating, when you're outside, you're looking right down that defensive line, so there's really no need to be offsides there. Yeah,
especially when you can see the whole line. You're on the farthest point of the field. In the middle part of the field, I somewhat understand it. But when you're on that far side, oh, here's Joe White. Let's see if Joe White gives this one a rip. And he does. Up to Brookhuizen. A little bit wide, though. Brookhuizen not able to keep that in. But, I mean, Joe White hits that, 40, 70 yards on a rope. Substitutions coming in here for both teams. Livonia City FC is going to have number 14, Craig Beebe, enter the game. And it looks like Bouchard coming off. Number 2, the goal scorer, Mackenzie Bouchard. In for GRFC is number 43, Mitch Tobin. Coming out of the game, looks like number 20, Alex Mendoza, being replaced. So he's getting a couple minutes here of action at the end here. So I pretty much think everything's been sort of rolled here by head coach Lewis Robinson in the Grand Rapids FC. There's not many more options to go for. You have basically a goalkeeper sub, Livonia City FC as well. Concro is trying to find his touch now. Under tight pressure right away. Concro a little hesitation. This time he's able to get around him a little bit. This time he does whip it in. Big ball to the back post. Finds Big Brookhuizen. Looking for Doney, not able to hit it. And that ball looks like it's going to go, nope, it's going to stay in bounds.
Well, there's your first look at, the Twin Towers.
Yeah, big flick in there. Just sort of a mishit clearance, but it finds the head of Brookhuizen, who puts it right back across the face of the goal, and Concro is going to find his touch again. Definitely pushing Concro to his left foot. It's going to be a double touch there off of Concro. It's going to be a throw-in for Livonia City FC, and we're about ready to enter the final minute of regulation with Grand Rapids FC on the back heels as much as possible here. Have to do something. Joe White saying, use me, wants that ball back. Almost up at 50 yards away from his own goal, trying to make something happen. Tobin not able to win this one. 50-50 coming in there. Hard tackle. DeCosimo on the dribble, comes in. DeCosimo tries to keep it, shields it out, whips that ball back in. Ball's going to be out of bounds. It is going to be a corner kick here as we're about 89 and a half minutes in. And looks like Grand Rapids FC is, everybody's joining the party, so to speak. Everybody is joining the party. Joe White goes in. Vanderlaan goes in. Babayev goes in. And George Jeremy just chills out just in case. So big Joe White flying in there. Love to see a goalkeeper goal right now. I'm not going to lie. Ball's played in. Finds Joe White. Joe White does head it. Does go off the football crossbar. And that's the 90th minute ticks. We'll hear how many stoppage minutes we have here. A minimum of 3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes of added time into this game. So a minimum of 3 minutes. The referee can add as much as they see fit. So less than basically 180 seconds here for Grand Rapids FC to squeeze out something. I just don't think they've been deadly enough in that final third at all. As Jeremy tries to head flick that. And Saeed Tawil is going to leave it. Referee tells Connor Cole to get on with it. Connor Cole, long throw over the top. Big straight up clearance by Vanderlaan. Connor Cole. And time is ticking. About a minute or so into stoppage time. And it's going to be a free kick called against Grand Rapids FC, and Vladimir Babayev called for a free kick. And this is going to take precious time off the clock as it allows Livonia City just to sort of waste time as much as possible here. And no rush to take this free kick. Over a minute into stoppage time. And Livonia City is not even going to attack that many players. They're just sort of going to sit and chill with as many players as possible underneath.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just puts us at the scoreboard.
Whips that ball in. Brookhuizen has to come back to it. Tries to find a flick. Tries to find Doney. Not able to win it. George Jeremy comes running through. Saeed Tawil is able to hammer that upfield. Joe White's going to probably bring this down off his chest, in on the dribble. Joe White looking for options right away. Brookhuizen and Concro on this far side. Over this, a little head flick in. On it, finds Doney. Doney misses his touch. and the ball goes out of bounds. And it is another corner here for Grand Rapids FC. We're into the 3rd minute of stoppage time, so Joe White comes back up. And a missed chance there from Doney, and a great chance at that. Free kick against Livonia City. As it looks, not really sure who that is on the field down there. Super far away, but a dangerous scoring opportunity. Free kick here. As Joe White's going to stay in on this. Still up there. And this is probably arguably the last chance in this game for Grand Rapids FC to make something happen. Ball's driven in the near post. No idea where it's bouncing. Ball's flicked back in. Joe White sort of run through. Joe White drags his feet. Referee waves it off. Joe White still scrumming through there. Able to find it clear. Referee looks at her watch. Everybody still stays in. Joe White still up there. Big ball flighted in. Brookhuizen, little head flick. Is it going to bounce in? And it is going to be wide. As Brookhuizen uncontested in there, all he needed to do is put that one on frame as Arton was running in on that one. And I'm going to say that's probably the last chance for GRFC, as we're definitely over the 3 minutes. And this goal kick might be the last play of this game and the last chance for Grand Rapids FC in the Amateur Cup. Whistles in the mouth. Hands up. And just like that, Grand Rapids FC is going to find themselves out of that USAS Cup right here in the round 2 after winning that first round 4-1 against Ann Arbor FC. Tonight, no goals to show. All the possession in the world, all the chances, Jamie, but no goals.
Well, that's a sport of soccer. You can dominate, you can dominate, you can dominate. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the right number on the scoreboard, leaving with your head down.
Yeah, and I think you look at the situations. I mean, Grand Rapids FC sort of were skinned a little bit. I think Calabrese going down early with that injury and being one of the defenders out there, so being short-staffed on the bench is definitely going to make an impact of what's going on. But I think they had no shortage of chances. But I tell you what, nothing can go against number 0, Peter Arton, that goalkeeper for Livonia City.
He was outstanding. Outside of that one breakaway that he made just a misplay just a little bit, but TJ just pushed it right off the post. He was up to the task. Arton was pretty phenomenal and got them in the game. Made a couple fantastic saves in the second half, diving to his right and diving to his left.
Yeah, regardless of the situation that goes on here with the result, I think there's some good things going on. You can see some of those new players on the field, like George Jeremy and TJ Ifadarati, coming into the game and having some pace to do some different things. It'd be nice to see when everybody gets back and the whole squad gets together, because I think you see some sparks in here. Unfortunately, those sparks tonight weren't enough.
One of the things I enjoyed watching as this game went on, I mentioned it earlier, is Scott Doney and TJ. They really started to get on the same page and really connect, especially in that second half with a couple of those easy, quick slip passes. And then George Jeremy, I think he's going to be a spectacular player for us this year. Yeah,
I think he is too. He's going to be one of those players on the field at all times. But tonight wasn't able to go their way. GRFC's home again the next couple times. They're not playing at Houseman Field on May 8th this Wednesday at Davenport University, 7:30 kickoff against a friendly game against Flint City Bucks. Michigan Milk Cup on May 11th at Granville High School at 7:30 against Ann Arbor FC Lumberjacks. And then finally back at track at Houseman for the opening league MPSL contest at Houseman Field, 7:30 May 18th against Toledo Villa FC. Tonight, GRFC falls to Livonia City by a score of 1-0 off the foot of Mackenzie Bouchard late in that first half. So a score of 1-0 here from Houseman Field. Livonia FC advanced to the next round of the USAS Cup. GRFC finds themselves out of it and have to sit there and go rebuild and see if they can put some stuff together here in the next couple weeks. On behalf of Grand Rapids FC, my co-host Jamie Bogart, my name is Justin Harnden. We hope you enjoyed the contest tonight. Have a great night, folks. Be safe, be smart, and have a good time. Thank you.